Hi, YouTube friends. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the worst businesses that you should be starting online. Now, usually when I'm on this channel, I'm talking about the best businesses to start, the most businesses that are going to do well. But I thought if we're always talking about the businesses that do well and we never talk about the worst ones, how are you going to know what to avoid in your business? So, today, that's all we're going to do in this live stream. We're going to talk about the worst 7 businesses, in my opinion, that everyone should stay away from, especially if your intention is to become rich, live your best life, and retire without stress. Okay, so let's go. Um, so when you're starting a business, there are 3 things that you really need to check out, that you need to understand before you choose a business idea, before you get started in your business. And so those 3 things are: number one, how much is it going to cost you to start the business? Number 2 is, well, how soon do you start to see results from the business that you've started? And number 3 basically is, how long is it going to take you to hit any substantial business revenue? So we're talking your first 10K, your first 100K, your first $250,000, and of course, your first $1,000,000. If your business is not going to allow you hit your revenue expectations or goals as soon as possible, it's not a good business. So those 3 things are the lens we're going to be looking at each business idea through. And the truth is, guys, numbers do not lie. So these are the 3 things you need to look out for if you're starting a business, which is, well, how much do you need to start the business? How soon do you get results? And how long is it going to take before you hit your big, substantial revenue outcome? Now, the first business idea really that you need to stay away from, and I've seen them all over the internet, is an MLM business. Okay, so MLM business, meaning multi-level marketing business, are the most popular businesses that are advertised online today. But they are absolutely the worst, because according to statistics, about 60% of MLM sellers and entrepreneurs actually make less than $100 in 5 years. That is mind blowing. Less than 60% of people are making all the money in MLM, while most people barely make $100 as MLM entrepreneurs. Okay. In fact, only about 1% of people who go into MLM are ever successful. And when we talk about success, we mean that they are grossing about 10,000 per month and above. Okay. Now, what are MLM businesses? Example of MLM businesses are like Avon. When I was at university, I actually sold Avon. I was an Avon rep. And so I'm not just telling you this out of thin air. I'm telling you because I have experience as an MLM entrepreneur. I can't talk anymore. Right? So it's actually very important that you um it's actually very important that you know what you're doing when you become an MLM entrepreneur. Now, there are a few things that make MLM really, really terrible for people, especially if you're doing when you become an MLM. Like, what really makes MLM really terrible for a lot of people when they're getting started in businesses? Yes, you can start without really having any money. Yes, you could see results quite soon because you have friends, but something happens along the way. At some point, you're going to run out of friends that you can advertise and market your business to. And that's when it really gets troublesome, because a lot of people do not have the sales skills to go out and find people that are going to be interested in the products that they sell. So when I was at university, I sold Avon as one of my sources of income, and I can tell you for a fact it's not a walk in the park. When you have friends and a large group of friends who might be interested in the product, it's a good thing. But say you sell products that your friends are not interested in, that's where it really starts to get tough, because now you have to go out and find people who are interested in the products that you sell. So MLM, definitely stay away from that. The next business idea is a restaurant. Now, I know that everybody has to eat. I know that people love buying takeouts and buying stuff from restaurants. And guess what? It's actually better to be someone who buys takeout from the restaurant than the person who has the restaurant. I'll tell you a few reasons why restaurants are actually really bad businesses. First of all, is the numbers. 50% of restaurants actually fail in the first year. And I'll tell you why. There are a few reasons why restaurants do not make a good business for any entrepreneur whose intention is to make a lot of money, make it quickly, retire, and have financial freedom. And one of the reasons is that to even start a restaurant, you need at least a substantial outlay. You're going to be looking for a good place to rent. You're going to be looking for employees because you can't run a restaurant by yourself. You're going to be looking to get all the licensing and get the certificates that are going to allow you to start a restaurant. And that already adds a lot of expense and stress into starting a restaurant. But then what actually happens is that when a restaurant is new, you have to do so much advertising to get people in the door. Why? Because we all have our favorite places where we already buy stuff from. So it actually takes time for a restaurant to start bringing in the kind of revenue. And then on top of that, there's so many factors that affect the restaurant. For example, the location. You're more interested in footfall. So the location of a restaurant really affects the income, downtime, uptime, busy season. All of those things make a restaurant like the kind of business that you don't want to start if you're not trying to become stressful. And guess what? When the numbers say 50% of restaurants fail in the first year, that doesn't account for like the 30% that don't fail in the first year, but fail by the second year. So definitely not a good business idea, a restaurant. The third business idea that I wouldn't recommend to anyone, that in my opinion is one of the worst businesses you can start, is a cleaning business. I know. So let me tell you why a cleaning business is bad. Now, when you go on most business websites where they're selling businesses, they always have cleaning businesses for sale, and they will try to sell you a cleaning business that comes with tools, that come with resources, that comes with experienced mentors. The problem with cleaning is that, first of all, you're going to be dropping around 17,000 to start a cleaning business. But the worst part of having a cleaning business is it really takes time for someone to trust you to come into their home and clean their home. I don't know why, so don't ask me. Like, people who have cleaners have had the same cleaners for years. And now the problem is, when you have all these people that sell you a cleaning business, the margins that you actually make as the entrepreneur is very small, because unless you plan to go and clean the houses yourself, you're going to have to hire people to go and clean. So now the revenue is being shared in three places. The first part goes to the people who actually own the system. So your trainers, the people who sold the cleaning franchise to you. Then you have to pay your employees, the people who actually do the business. And so at the end of the day, you are doing so much work, but you're only getting around $10 per cleaning job. I know this by researching it. And I'm going to drop some links and some resources for you to read about in the description. But the truth about a cleaning business is that there is outlay in the beginning, but on top of that, you're making $10 per cleaning, $20 per cleaning contracts. So that means that unless you have 1,000 jobs every month, you are not really doing massive numbers in revenue. You're not really making a lot of profits. Okay. So that's a cleaning business. The next business idea is a makeup artist. Now, I know that women love makeup and we love beauty and we love looking good. Maybe you are also one of those people that feel like people can't go anywhere without doing makeup. But let me tell you the truth. When it comes to any business that requires you to be physically present before your business can make money, it's a terrible idea. Okay, it's an absolutely terrible idea. So if you watch my last video, and I'm going to link it somewhere in this video if you're watching this on replay, is number one, when it comes to starting a business, you want something that doesn't tie your time to your income. Any business that requires you to be physically present, actually do the work, and then before you get paid is not a good business idea. Why? Because in 2024, we're trying to enjoy location independence. We're trying to be sitting on the beach, sipping coconut water, and enjoying ourselves instead of being standing over someone and having to do a makeup. So let's look at the actual makeup business. Imagine that you have only to, in fact, funny enough, most makeup artists, and I say this by asking them particularly, most makeup artists only book jobs on the weekends. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's assume that you book 2 jobs every day for the entire weekend. That is 6 clients. And that requires some of them to travel back and forth because they have to go to the client, do the makeup, and then go to the next client. So usually, if we're fitting the business into one day on the weekend, and if you live in a busy city, there is traffic, there is so much going on, you can only see and attend to about 2 clients on the weekend. Now, even if you're charging each client $150, that is still not a lot of money. By the end of the week, you are knackered, you have done so much work, you've been in traffic, and yet you've only brought in around $1,000. Now, the problem with being a makeup artist is that it's not scalable. This is not the kind of business that you can really scale. Unless, again, you're taking on a location, you're taking on employees, you're taking on staff and admin, people that are going to do the booking. It just is not a good business idea. Now, before I continue, I want to say this, that a lot of people are going to watch this and actually believe that being a makeup artist is a good business. And I actually love the skill of doing makeup. I love the fact that people love doing makeup and looking beautiful. The problem with it is if you are the entrepreneur and you have to go out and do people's makeup, it's not a fantastic business for you. Hello, Chinedu. I can see you in the comments. It's good to have you in the live stream. Okay, if you have any questions while we're in the live, feel free to drop a question. Feel free to drop comments. I would love to hear your feedback. Okay, so in the same vein, I'm going to go to the next business idea, which is very similar to a makeup artist, and this is a hairstylist. Now, did you know that according to numbers, only about 1 in 5 hairstylists ever graduates from doing hair in their home to owning a big salon? Now, usually people love to do hair. In fact, I know so many people who have started doing hair in their house. But remember our criteria. It has to be a business that doesn't require capital. It has to be a business that you can get results very quickly. But where a hairstylist business fails is that it also has to be a business that you can scale to minimum 6 figures within 1 year without killing yourself. Now, very few hairstylists are able to create income of 100,000, $250,000, and even $1 million within 1 year because it's just practically impossible. It's very impossible for someone to do hair to the extent of making $1 million. It's very impossible for someone to do hair to the extent of making $250,000 in 1 year, except they have a salon and they have staff and they have admin, and all of a sudden they have an overhead problem because now they have to pay for all this stuff. Okay. Now, the next business idea that I'm going to tell you that is really bad is actually a child minding business. Oh my God. Now, child minding businesses are actually one of my pet peeves. I feel that when you have a child minding business, it traps you, right? Now, most people don't have the money to create daycares. So they start child minding from home, right? And when you have a child minding business, it means that you are literally watching after people's children every single day. And so that just doesn't do it when it comes to financial independence or you having location independence. It's quite impossible for you to have a child minding business and spend time on holiday while your business is running. So it's actually a bad business idea. In my opinion, it's one of the worst business ideas that you can start. A child minding business, unless you have the income to get a location to employ people and have a manager running your daycare or having people managing the business so that you can have independence. Now, I think one of the things that I find the most irritating about a child minding business is that for those 7 to 8 hours that your business is open, you can barely do anything else apart from actually spend time with those children that you've taken in. So even if the business is doing well, and legally there's several ratios that you have to keep. I think for children who are about preschool age, you can only have 4 children to 1 adult. So even if these children were paying you 2,000, that's 8,000 in a month for your whole time is invested in the business. And so I just best personally think it's one of the worst ideas. Don't do it. There are better ways to make money quicker, see results, and hit big revenues quicker than you would with a child minded business. The last one that I want to talk about is a boutique, a fashion boutique. Now, I know that people love looking good. In fact, looking good is great business until you are the one running the boutique. Now, from my standpoint as an e commerce specialist, someone that has worked with several different brands on Amazon and on Shopify, I can tell you that running a boutique is one of the businesses that actually creates the most stress. Why? Because there's several different sizes that go into a boutique. You could sell the same dress, but you have that dress in 10 different sizes. You could sell a pair of shoes, but you have it in 10 different sizes. And so the biggest problem with running a boutique is not that it's not profitable. It's the problem of, first of all, you have to have inventory, and then you have to have storage for your inventory, because you can't run that kind of business from your house unless you're trying to drive yourself crazy. Okay. So now you have to get inventory of different oh my goodness. Okay, let's break it down. When you start a fashion boutique, some of the things that you have to take care of are, even if it's an online boutique, because most of my clients are Amazon e-commerce based businesses. The first thing you have to consider is, if you're going to sell one dress and have it in at least 5 to 7 different sizes, you have to buy all of those things upfront. Number one. So that means you need to have a substantial capital outlay that is going out before you even start the business. The second thing, which I hate about boutiques, is the amount of returns that you experience. And that is the way that a lot of people lose so much money, because they're running a business that people can buy, wear, and return. I remember one of my clients saying to me that the number of returns they had, for every 3 sales they made, one was the return. Because people would say it didn't fit, I didn't like the way it looked on me, it was bigger than me, it was smaller than me. There's so many reasons why a boutique is a bad idea. But I'm going to tell you also one of the reasons why that makes a boutique really, really, really bad is that the amount of time it takes to put into setting up a boutique, running a boutique, is just too much. Okay. So those are the businesses that I wouldn't do. I think that they're the worst businesses to run. Okay. So now, while we're here, I want to share with you a couple of businesses that, or a couple of things that you can do to any of these business ideas to make them actually better. Okay. Now, so I've told you they're the worst businesses. I'm going to tell you how to make these businesses better, or how to save some of these business ideas if you are interested. So, two of them are actually the MLM business and the boutique business. Those are the only business ideas I think are even salvageable out of the 7 I've given you. Okay. So, the ones I could salvage are the MLM business. Instead of starting an MLM business, I would sell your expertise with digital products and with coaching and with consulting. Okay. So some time ago, someone came to me and said she had invested $9,000 to learn to join an MLM business where they sold some kind of products, and she successfully did not sell anyone. Like, in the whole year of investing 9,000, she hadn't sold anything. And the reason is that some of the products that you sell in MLM, they are really bad products. And some of the times you are not passionate about the product, so you find it very difficult to sell. So instead, I will turn that business into an expert-based business where you sell your expertise, and that is why people pay you. So instead of starting an MLM business, I would start a digital products business. I would sell my expertise. I would monetize that with different products, with different consulting packages. And that is the way that you're going to be able to scale that business very quickly. The next business that I think is salvageable is a boutique. So instead of starting a boutique that sells different outfits and different products and different sizes and different SKUs, I would first of all start a business that sells maybe a maximum of 10 SKUs. That's it. That's all the business sells. It's a specialist boutique that sells particular items and they have a maximum of 10 different products. The way I would also make it better is that instead of setting it up on e-commerce on Shopify straight away, I would try out this business on a platform like Amazon before I start to invest more money into it. The reason we set up on Amazon is because Amazon happens to have millions of people shopping on their platform every single day. And so, even without you having your own traffic or running Facebook ads, you're going to have people coming to your store and buying your products. The third reason why I think we would use Amazon and that would change the trajectory of this business is if you set up a boutique on Amazon and you have very few SKUs and you have millions of people visiting your store on a daily basis, the next thing is that you can get direct feedback from people via the reviews, and that is going to actually reduce the amount of returns that you have. Another thing that's going to make your boutique better is the fact that you don't have to actually be involved in sending products to people, so the logistics. Because when you use Amazon, you're going to send your products straight to Amazon. Amazon is going to hold your products, so they store the products, and that means you don't have to get a space where you're going to run your boutique from. Amazon is going to store the products for you. And then from Amazon, when you make a sale, Amazon is going to ship the products out for you. And then on top of that, Amazon handles customer service. So do you see how all of a sudden you've taken a very terrible business idea, and I stand by it any day. You've taken a very terrible business idea and you've turned it into a possibly six figures, $250,000 business because now you're leveraging a platform like Amazon. But apart from that, I would think that that is definitely a business to stay away from if you don't have a lot of money. Okay, so my friends, these are the worst business ideas in the world. If you are interested in the best business ideas, I did a video a few days ago where I talked about the different styles of business, the different models of business. And I told you the two best models that you can start, which are either a Walmart model or a Wealth Premium model. Okay, so definitely go back and watch that video if you have no clue what I'm talking about. Apart from that, in the absence of questions, I'm going to round us this live stream by saying this. There is nothing you cannot do if you set your mind to it. There is nothing you cannot accomplish if you have the right map. And at the end of the day, if your heart is in it, you will do marvelous things. Now, I've put in the bottom of this live stream, in the description, I've put 2 free trainings. One of them is my free training to starting a 6-figures business selling digital products, which is monetizing your expertise. And I also included a free training to starting an Amazon business that makes money all year round, especially if you're looking for independence in your location and in your finances. So definitely click on those, watch that, get some expertise, go start your business, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay.